Millions of people have witnessed ghosts over the years. Although much debate surrounds them, there are many that believe they exist. A man was working on a boat when he took a photo of a mysterious black figure. This ghost seemed to be holding an axe in his hand. The image was published on Imager on the 2nd of August 2014. The eyewitness said the following: "As I've said in my previous posts, I work at sea. Last month we came into a dry dock to carry out refit and repairs. Dry dock is when a ship is brought into a lock. The gates close and all the water is pumped out, leaving the ship high and dry on the blocks, thus allowing repair and inspections on the underside of the hull. Next to us was an old military frigate being broken down for scrap. She had arrived about 2 weeks prior to us. Once the frigate was on the blocks and dry, all of the crew left the old girl to her fate. A sad sight, but that's how these things go. Once all the sensitive stuff had been removed, the dock workers were free to go on. The dock foreman John went on board first with his camera to take some pictures of the work areas. He took a couple of hundred all in all. This was one of them. He later sent all the pictures to his boss, who upon seeing this called John straight away asking who's the guy with the axe at the edge of the camera flash. John had no idea. He never saw anyone. The area where this picture was taken was in a cross alleyway, deep inside the ship. He was going around with a torch and a camera. When he'd go to take a picture, he would turn off the torch, leaving him in total darkness, snap the shot, turn the torch back on and be on his way. Due to the fact that it was a military vessel, the police were called. A search was carried out but no one was found. There was only one way on and off the ship, and this was by a gangway covered by CCTV. You couldn't jump over the side as it was a 25-meter drop onto concrete. No one was seen leaving the ship after John had taken this. I'm a skeptic. Maybe it's a trick of the flash reflecting off something, but if you really zoom in you can make out the face, ear, collar of his jacket and the axe. And before anyone asks, I'm not going to name the ship or even where she is, as I'm not sure I'm supposed to have a picture of the innards of a military vessel. This gave me serious goosebumps. Needless to say, I didn't go on board for a look. The story of a famous miracle in Fatima, Portugal began in May 1917, when 3 children ages 7, 9 and 10 claimed to have encountered the Virgin Mary. This was on their way home from tending to a flock of sheep. The eldest girl was the only one to speak to her, and Mary told the children that she had reappeared to them on the 13th day of the next 6 months. She then vanished. The children soon told their parents, and while some of the village didn't believe their tale, others did and told more people. As the weeks and months passed, more and more of the faithful made journeys to Fatima, where the children claimed to have received Mary's visits. Still, no one else saw the Virgin Mary. Instead, the gathered adults would listen as Lucia took the lead and began to describe her visions. It was Mary's final appearance on October the 13th, 1917 that became the most famous. An estimated 60,000 to 100,000 people were in attendance at the site, anticipating the Virgin Mary's final visit, and with many fully expecting that she would work a great miracle. As before, the figure appeared, but this time lifting her hands into the sky. As everyone gazed upward, they saw a silvery disc emerge from behind the clouds. They experienced what is known as a sun miracle. Soon after, rays of light began hitting the onlookers. This was a thing that really happened. It was viewed by around 100,000 people of varying ages, and has since been confirmed as a miracle by the Roman Catholic Church. An article at the time stated the following: "One could see the immense multitude turn towards the sun, which appeared free from clouds and at its peak. It looked like a plaque of dull silver, and it was possible to look at without discomfort. It might have been an eclipse which was taking place, but at that moment a great shout went up and one could hear the spectators shouting, 'A miracle, a miracle!' Before the astonished eyes of the crowd eagerly searching the sky, the sun trembled and made sudden incredible movements outside all cosmic laws. According to the people, the sun danced. People then began to ask each other what they had seen. The great majority admitted to having seen the trembling and dancing of the sun. Others affirmed they had saw the face of the Blessed Virgin Mary. Others again swore the sun whirled on itself like a giant Catherine wheel, and that it lowered itself to the earth as if to burn it with its rays. Despite some theories about space dust and tricks of the light, science has never been able to explain exactly what all those people saw. An earthquake light is a strange luminous aerial phenomenon that reportedly appears in the sky or near areas of tectonic stress, seismic activity or volcanic eruptions. The lights are reported to appear while an earthquake is occurring. They are reported to have shapes similar to those of the auroras, with a white to bluish colour, but occasionally they have been reported having a wide colour spectrum. The luminosity is reported to be visible for several seconds, but has also been reported to last for 10 minutes. Some maintain that the lights do occur, but is impossible to use as a reliable system of warning. Scientists have reported flashes during earthquakes since before the widespread use of electricity. During one 1888 quake in New Zealand, a Professor Hutton reported seeing a luminous appearance in the eastern sky, but he was skeptical, saying the following: "I mention these things, but I do not think they were connected with the earthquake." A 1913 survey from the Bulletin of Seismology Society of America said the following: "It's not scientific or rational to affirm or deny the existence of luminous earthquake phenomena, concluding that these lights could have been lightning or meteors. Still, video and photographic evidence seem to have confirmed that sometimes there really are flashes of light during some quakes." One often cited study published in the journal Seismology Research Letters reviewed 65 past earthquakes to find what they had in common, writing that a large number of eyewitnesses' reports from certain areas, coupled with similarities with respect in shapes and colours, for instances in very different regions of the world, should be taken as evidence that earthquake lights do occur, and that they are a widespread phenomena. It's also been noted that over the years many more people have witnessed them. In certain types of rocks, this stress can build up negative charge atoms in the ground, allowing them to flow up to the surface as an electrical current through cracks in the rock. If enough atoms are present, they can ionize pockets of air and form plasma, or charged gas that emits light. Many scientists and researchers the world over state there are plenty of other explanations out there, but for now we'll have to settle with the following. There are probably flashes during quakes. They could be coincidences. They could be due to the earthquake's effects on the built environment, or they could be some yet to be understood scientific phenomena. Science doesn't have all the answers. It's a tool to try and find the answers. And when the earth is shaking violently, it seems that science has prioritized protecting people over explaining what's going on in the sky. A team of researchers had discovered a while ago an ancient complex of pyramids and various structures in a remote part of the Ecuadorian Amazon rainforest. They documented the site as best as they could, snapping several images of strange structures and artifacts, and filming a couple of videos. This ancient city, believed to have been built and inhabited by giants, was mentioned by natives in the region, but no one had dared to search for the lost city before. Ecuadorian legend speaks of ancient cities of giants, abandoned by their inhabitants long ago. Little by little, these alleged once majestic cities have been claimed by nature over the past couple of centuries. In fact, not only do Ecuadorian legends speak of giants, but tribes throughout the Amazon basin recall the existence of an ancient race of giants who built prosperous cities before regular-sized humans arrived in the area. Similar stories can be found across the planets no matter where we look. From Northern America to Europe and Asia, ancient texts and legends mention beings of enormous sizes walking on the earth in the distant past. Such legends are what inspired a group of researchers to travel to a remote part of the Ecuadorian Amazon in order to search for the lost city of the giants. It's said that several tribes have been using the city of the giants as a meeting place, and it's believed that it was inhabited by a powerful spirit. The largest of the structures found by explorers was a pyramid 80 meters high and 80 meters wide, with a slope too high to be considered a natural formation. It had been built using hundreds of large irregular shaped rocks, each weighing approximately 2 tons. At the top of the structure is a flat area that could have been used as a ceremonial platform. Near the pyramid, researchers found many artifacts carved of stone. The protective layer of soil had preserved the soft surface of the stones. It also revealed the presence of a cement-like substance used to keep boulders together. Judging by the apparent age of the ruins, this could be the first example of concrete used in America. Apparently, the builders of this ancient citadel possessed engineering knowledge well ahead of its time. While researchers were overwhelmed by the notion they had come across a lost city of giants, they were shocked when the government decided to take a look with their own team of experts. The official report by the Ecuadorian government team was a conclusion that the site was entirely natural. But despite the fact the government had deemed the site a natural formation unworthy of further studies, the team searched and found more artificially made structures near the infamous giant site. The team noticed several tall-like objects of giant sizes and strange artifacts protruding from the ground. As their quest for evidence continued, they came across perfectly rectangular blocks, stepping-off blocks, smooth stone facing, and curiously shaped stones in cement-like mortar. Until this day, no further progress has been made, and the discovery, once considered a historical discovery, was quickly eclipsed by controversy and the government's unwillingness to dig deeper for archaeology. Although governmental institutions did want to dig, but this was for oil instead. Paranormal encounters and stories have been around for years. Ghosts appear in ancient literature, plays, and even current movies. Yet ghosts are a largely unknown phenomena. A ghost is believed to be the spirit of a person who died. Spiritualists believe that the things that make up your personalities, such as your ego and intellect, cannot die, and instead carries on in another plane of existence. This continued existence is what we commonly refer to when we talk about ghosts. This photo was submitted by Chris to the Ghost Study website. He went on to say the following: "Here is a family photo that has sat on my grandparents' shelf for as long as I can remember. It's a family of my aunt and uncle's family who lived in Rhode Island. I don't know them well, but one Thanksgiving my cousin noticed the man in the window that no one had ever noticed before. My cousin scanned the photo and we emailed it to my uncle, and asked him who it was in the window. Uncle Jay has no idea there was someone there when the photo was taken in 1977, but he said there's a lot of strange things that happened in that house. My aunt and uncle moved out of that house over 20 years ago, and until me and my cousin noticed the figure in the window, no one had any idea. Now the photo is always a family ghost story that we have fun with every time we're at my grandparents' house." The Civil War Battle of Gettysburg was a 3-day fight from July the 1st to July the 3rd, 1863. It occurred in the countryside and farmland near the town of Gettysburg, covering 40 miles. General Robert E. Lee was on his way to bring the war to the north, taking the pressure off Virginia in areas where his soldiers could live off the land, perhaps forcing a settlement, letting the South become its own country. According to legend, the Confederate troops needed boots. Conveniently, Gettysburg was known for its tanning industry and its shoes. As it was on the way, General Robert E. Lee marched in and took over the town. He supposedly did this to take the boots for his troops. However, the Union Army caught up with them. Another source said the first stop for Lee was a small village called Cashtown, a village located between Chambersburg and Gettysburg. After learning through a spy that the Union troops led by General George Meade were onto his plans to attack the north at Harrisburg, Lee sent a team to Gettysburg, while preparing to meet the Union troops in battle when they were spotted. This incredibly costly battle put an end to 50,000 men. Because of all the suffering, the Gettysburg National Military Park has many hauntings and entity sightings, even 142 years later. Many soldiers are still on duty or experiencing the terrifying events leading to their deaths. Other hauntings not related to the battle also have been reported in the national park, because the land's history started long before 1863 and continues until the present. During the filming of the film Gettysburg, actors dressed in uniform would often walk off set, exploring the real battlefields during their downtime. A group of Union soldiers went up to the Little Round Top area to enjoy the sunset. While standing there, they heard the rustling of leaves behind them. Looking to see who it was, you can imagine their surprise when a haggard-looking old man dressed as a Union private made his appearance. The man was filthy and smelled of sulphur, a key ingredient of the black powder used in 1863. He walked up to the men as he handed them a few musket rounds. He said, "Rough one today, eh boys?" He turned and walked away. As the startled men examined these musket rounds, the mystery man vanished into thin air. They brought these musket rounds into the town of Gettysburg, which were authenticated as original rounds 130 years old. This photo was captured in the park. There isn't much information about the photo, but it allegedly shows an apparition. But what do you think it is? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.